Hi, Charles here. Well, in this episode, I'll tell you about the cost of converting this Ford Transit into our camper van. Thanks for watching. Well, it's a common episode that most van builders do, but not all, telling about how much they spent. And so today I went and opened up a spreadsheet and had to create a complete spreadsheet because I had not kept track of everything. Let me get this papers ready here. I had kind of a rough idea. I mean, I kept telling myself, "Oh, we're not spending that much," and it's going to be around $3,000. And then I started to think about it more. I thought it's probably more around $5,000. So the actual cost of things that we bought to use in the van, I'm going to say is pretty close to $7,500. Is what we ended up all in. I do know that we spent some things that we ended up not using. Most things, if we didn't use it, we returned it. All that I have left right now is the lagoon table, with the arm, and you can move it around. I'd love to have it in there, but it's just not going to work, and because we don't want to have to mess with it at night when we take it off. So we found that it's fine without that table. So I think that was probably $130, $150, and so I've got that on Facebook Marketplace. I'll find somebody that wants that. And then I also have the original ladder that I bought for the back. It's nice polished chrome, and I think it was like right around $200, but it only fits a Ford Transit medium roof, so it's pretty specific. So I posted that a couple of times and not gotten a response yet, but eventually I will. I'll find somebody that wants that. And a couple things that I didn't include, we did buy some tools. We bought a compound miter saw. We bought a table saw. We already had a drill, but we got a few hole saws, and I think our son gave us his router, so we bought some router bits. So things like that, tools, I'm not including because those we're not done with them now that we're done building this. So I'm just considering that's something we had thought about getting anyway. Susie does some woodworking projects. She made a really neat thing for shoes and boots for one of our kids that has a bunch of kids. And she's going to be doing more stuff like that. So I'm not really including that. And then I just thought about, just looking here, I did buy new tires for the Transit, but I don't consider that part of the van build. That's just part of auto maintenance. And so, I think I spent around $200 a tire, around $800 for these nice tires from Big O, and all season. And I decided not to go with a real aggressive. I was looking at the KO2s, Goodrich. That's what some people use, but the most we're going to be on is some gravel road. And not a lot of that, but some. I've said it over and over again, we're not deep boondockers going off deep into BLM land. Might we go in a little bit? Yeah, sure. But nothing that's going to be really rough and that would require four-wheel drive or real aggressive tires to get out. So what I did was I went back to my Amazon account and let's see, here's this, and this. That's all the Amazon stuff. And so I think my Amazon list added up to $27.19, 37 cents. And then my Home Depot stuff and Lowe's and Ace Hardware, that was 46 plus. And again, sometimes we had things left over, so we might have bought a certain kind of screw. We might have bought a box of them. So I mean, there's certainly things left over. We had a couple of big sheets of insulation that we actually made a door out of. You've seen in a couple videos that to slide to keep the back area separate from the front, just to help with the cold a little bit. And we'll keep those for that purpose. And some lumber that's included in this would also be the work table. She made a rolling work table and a few other things like that. I think we ended up with one full length of the shiplap, and so not a lot of lumber after that. I know we've got some sections of plywood left over, and so with Amazon it was a lot of things $50 and under. And so the bigger ticket items would be the MaxxAir fan that was $280, the Halo View, the camera and monitor was $235, and I bought those before we even started building. I mean, things like the inlet coming in, the Marinco inlet, like $82. The shower pan was $150. Looking down, a lot of these things are $29, $46. The Ruvati sink, 15 by 15 sink, was $212. And then I bought another camera that I put in the front, and then Halo View gave me the 2 side and the 2 handy cameras. So they actually gave me 4 cameras. Looking down the list here, again, most of them are in that $30, $50 range. So those are the quote big ones. The cord for to plug in the 30 amp into an RV power podium. Well, I just bought that recently. It's $77. I actually had bought one before, and it turned out it was for marine use. It's made for marine. All of them, they say, with that screws in. But mine literally only plugs in at a boat outlet. So I'm gonna get that sold. I did buy an XM radio, which was $60, and so that will go in there. And so that's the kind of things that we got from Amazon. And then the big things from Home Depot would have been, I think we spent around $300 on shiplap, and then lots of money, small amounts all over the place for wood. So we'd buy, 1 or 2 pieces of plywood. I'm going to guess altogether we probably bought 6, maybe 4x8 sheets. Couple of them, the higher quality stuff for the side walls, and the rest was better than the cheap stuff. Mainly 1/2 inch, but there were 3/4 inch. The adapters for the roof vent I got from Impact Graphics, and so those were a little over $200 for both the vent and the fan, and then inside. And I now tell people, just get what's on the roof. Don't worry about the other. You can trim that out yourself. Lots and lots of wire and connectors. Trying to see anything else big. Yeah, there's the shiplap. The kitchen faucet, $127. So, yeah, whenever it's a big number, it's typically the wood. And then I just added this to the list. It was $517.70 for the 2 bunk windows. And right now, you probably couldn't even get a hold of them, because things are just. The Maple helicopters drive me crazy. I'm going to stop and get a drink right now. Be right back. Yeah, I'm not an allergy person, but every year we've got a lot of maples around here, and I mean, this driveway was covered with the helicopters, we call them, and that's about the only thing that bothers me, and today for some reason is, but it's not as bad as it was a week ago. And I also did want to mention, other things added up quickly, like the light bar on the top, and the 2 in the back, and the 1 in the front, the small one. So it was just kind of funny that over an 8-month period, I know some people they get their conversion done in 2 or 3 months or less. I saw one couple will do one in 20 days, but they're like pros. But when it's spread out over 8 months, and you're running over to Home Depot, which we're very blessed. It's just a couple miles over there. You're spending $30, $40, $50, and every now and then you have a big purchase like the shiplap or something like that. But you just don't pay attention how it adds up, and so that's kind of how it kind of snuck up on me. But I'm not overly shocked by that. It's gone well. I do want to show you one thing. Susie says she feels like she's in an airplane when I start up the car. And let me show you that. You'll see what I mean. So when I start up the car, the first thing I do is I look down here at my switch panel and I turn on 1, 2, 3, 4. And what that does, it's turning on the monitor, and then the cameras one by one pop up. Usually the rear camera that's on the bottom, it will come on last because it's got to pick up a signal from all the way back there. There it goes. So there's the cameras going, and then I push in my Sirius XM. So I've got it right now. I'm using this little mount that I found that's I think works pretty well. So I've got this, and I got most of the things programmed the way I want. It does some stuff that my wife's Sirius XM that's built in doesn't do it. So she just says I'm pushing all these buttons. It's like flaps up and flaps down and all that. So that's what it looks like when I get going with starting the Transit. I see what she's saying. Well, there you go with my little financial update. So we spent basically $7,500 over an 8-month period, and then it'll be the end of August. It'll be a year that we bought this, and like I said, I only have 3,800 miles, and a lot of those miles were the trip down to Florida and back recently, and then a million trips back and forth to Home Depot. And I think I have mentioned that we paid just a shade under 25 grand for the Transit, in gorgeous shape. We didn't have to clean it like most people. And then my F-150 that I traded in there, that they sold like that, it was beautiful. It paid for about half or more of it. So that worked out really well, because I really wasn't using it. Once we finished remodeling our house, I wasn't really needing it to haul stuff like I did when my builder was here, and I would run and get stuff for him at Home Depot or Lowe's. So all in all, it's worked out pretty well. And what I'm happy about is we have something over here that's solid. We know how well made it is and how safe it is, the way we really, everything is into that frame. Because I've talked to people that have worked at RV places or who do repairs in RVs, and they say you would not believe, if you look behind those pretty walls, many of them, even some really expensive ones, are really not made very well. I mean, like a lot of staples and not screws, and just not super strong. And you see videos of them just collapsing without much of a wreck. So I'm happy with what we've ended up with, and we're excited about our upcoming trips. So I've got the 2 coming, and then in between, mainly in July, we'll be doing trips that are here in Indiana, and I'm looking at some parks in Ohio and Kentucky that we'd like to go to, and just do like, short 2 or 3 day trips. So that's what's happening now. And so I will be coming up with a final tour, you might say. A friend of mine is going to do some drone work with this by a covered bridge over by Bloomington, Indiana on Friday. So I'm excited to get that done, and then we'll kind of wind this up. But we'll still do little update episodes before we get going on the trip. So thanks for watching.